In 1996, something extraordinary happened in the world of numismatics, though at the time, hardly anyone noticed. A simple 1-cent coin, minted in Canada, would one day go on to captivate collectors and historians alike. Not because it was made of precious metals or embedded with jewels, but because of a mistake. A tiny error on a coin so ordinary, it slipped past thousands of hands before its true identity was realized. This particular coin is the 1996 Canadian 1-cent coin, but it wasn't just any penny. It was struck with a die intended for the 1997 coin run, creating a rare mule error. In coin terms, a mule is when two mismatched dies are used to strike a coin. These are accidents, freak events in a tightly controlled minting process, and they're the stuff of legends in coin collecting circles. Canada's Royal Mint is known for its precision and strict quality control. For a coin like this to exist is almost unthinkable. Most errors are caught before a coin even leaves the mint floor. But somehow, this 1996 mule slipped into circulation. It looked like any other penny, reddish-brown and coppery, with Queen Elizabeth II on the front and the maple leaf twig on the reverse. Yet one small, misplaced feature made it unique. The mule error happened because the obverse die, the side with the Queen's portrait, bore the wrong design for that year. Instead of the correct obverse for 1996, it had the one prepared for the following year. At a glance, the differences were subtle. But to a trained eye or a collector with a magnifying glass, it was an unmistakable anomaly. It was the kind of find that turns a pocketful of loose change into a treasure chest. For years, no one knew this coin existed. It went unnoticed through cash registers, vending machines, and piggy banks. It wasn't until a sharp-eyed collector stumbled upon it in 2001 that its true nature was discovered. And when word got out, it set off a frenzied hunt among coin enthusiasts across North America, desperate to find another example. To date, only a tiny handful have ever surfaced. What makes this coin so fascinating isn't just its rarity, it's the mystery surrounding how it even came to be. Some experts suggest it was an experimental strike accidentally released. Others think it was an unnoticed die mix-up during a busy production period. The Royal Canadian Mint has never officially confirmed how many exist or how it happened, which only adds to its allure. Collectors prize mule coins because they represent pure chance, a moment when human error created something extraordinary in a system designed for perfection. Each time one is discovered, it reminds the world that even in the most mundane things, there can be hidden marvels. And in the realm of coin collecting, anomalies often hold the most value. The value of this particular 1996 mule cent has climbed astonishingly in recent years. In a high-profile auction held in 2023, one pristine example of the coin was sold for a staggering $2.15 million. It shattered records for a Canadian coin of its type, and experts predict its value will only continue to rise as fewer examples emerge and demand from private collectors intensifies. Beyond its monetary worth, the coin has gained near-mythical status. It's become a symbol of chance and the thrill of discovery. For those who collect, it represents the dream that one day, they too might find an overlooked gem in a pocket of change, a piece of history carrying a forgotten story. Even today, numismatists keep their eyes peeled for this elusive coin. Every Canadian penny from 1996 is examined carefully, hopeful that it might be one of the mules. The mystery of how many remain unaccounted for lingers, keeping the legend alive and ensuring its place as one of the rarest and most valuable coins in Canadian history. In the world of rare coins, there are stories that sound almost too unbelievable to be true. One of those stories belongs to the 1983 1-cent coin, a small, ordinary-looking penny that holds an extraordinary secret. It's a coin born from a rare mistake, overlooked by thousands before one sharp-eyed collector uncovered its hidden value. The 1983 1-cent coin in question hails from the United States, during a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning the materials used for pennies. In 1982, the Mint moved from a primarily copper composition to a zinc core with a thin copper coating. But in the middle of that switch, a few stray copper planchets, the blank discs used to strike coins, were left behind. By 1983, all official 1-cent coins were supposed to be made from the lighter zinc planchets. But somehow, a few of the older, heavier copper blanks remained in the system. These rare copper planchets were mistakenly used to strike some 1983 pennies, creating an anomaly that only the most experienced numismatists would recognize decades later. To the naked eye, the 1983 copper penny looks identical to the regular zinc version. It carries the same familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But in terms of weight and composition, it's an entirely different coin. The copper version weighs about 3.11 grams, while the zinc ones come in at only 2.5 grams, a small but critical difference. Because of this, these copper 1983 cents are considered mule errors in a way, though technically it's a wrong planchet error. They shouldn't exist. Official records insist that no copper pennies were minted in 1983. Which makes every discovered example a tiny rebellion against the expected order of things. That sense of forbidden rarity is part of what makes this coin so desirable. The first known discovery came in the early 1990s when a collector noticed a 1983 penny that felt slightly heavier than usual. Upon closer examination, it was confirmed as being struck on a copper planchet. Since then, only a tiny number of verified examples have surfaced, and each one adds to the legend. Numismatists and collectors have spent years searching through bags of old pennies, weighing each one, chasing the thrill of possibly uncovering one of these outliers. It's a hunt that speaks to the persistence of collectors and the magic of small, forgotten items holding incredible stories. Over time, the mystery surrounding these copper 1983 pennies only deepened. The U.S. Mint has never offered a clear explanation as to how many might exist or how the error even occurred. This silence has only fueled speculation and driven up the market value of every confirmed find. When it comes to price, these coins are now in a league of their own. In a record-breaking auction not long ago, a pristine 1983 copper penny sold for a jaw-dropping $2.15 million. Collectors from around the world bid furiously for the chance to own one of the rarest known U.S. coins, pushing its value higher than anyone had predicted. Today, the 1983 copper penny stands as a symbol of both chance and perseverance. It reminds collectors that even in an age of machines and precision, human error, and a bit of luck, can create something priceless. For those who still search old jars, garage sale finds, and piggy banks, the hope of uncovering a 1983 copper cent keeps the legend alive. Each one discovered is a tangible piece of a larger mystery, and every coin yet to be found adds to the excitement. In a world where most treasures have been claimed, the 1983 copper penny is proof that sometimes the most valuable things are still hiding in plain sight. In 1978, a small, unassuming 1-cent coin quietly entered circulation in the United States. At first glance, it looked no different from the millions of other pennies minted that year. But hidden among the ordinary was an accidental masterpiece, a coin so rare that decades later, it would command millions and capture the imagination of collectors worldwide. The 1978 1-cent coin carries the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Like its predecessors, it was meant to be a standard copper alloy penny, mass-produced and destined for pockets, cash registers, and forgotten jars. But somewhere within that year's minting process, something unusual happened. A small number of these coins were struck using a die that was slightly off alignment. In the world of minting, even a minor misalignment can create a rare and valuable error. On these particular 1978 cents, the misalignment caused certain features of the coin to appear doubled, especially the date and the lettering on the front. This type of error is known as a double die, and it's one of the most sought-after mistakes in numismatics. The doubling effect occurs during the hubbing process, when the design is pressed onto the die that will strike the coins. If the die shifts slightly between impressions, it creates a doubled image. The most famous example of this error is the 1955 double die penny, but the 1978 version remains far rarer. For years, no one noticed these unusual 1978 cents. They blended in seamlessly with the rest, passed from hand to hand without a second thought. It wasn't until sharp-eyed collectors began meticulously examining coins from that year that the anomaly was uncovered. And when it was, it sparked a quiet frenzy in the coin collecting community. What makes the 1978 double die penny especially intriguing is its extreme scarcity. Very few have ever been verified, and their exact numbers remain a mystery. The U.S. Mint has never officially acknowledged the error, and without public records, it's impossible to know how many slipped through unnoticed. These rare coins typically display doubling on the date, the word liberty, and occasionally the motto, "In God We Trust." To the untrained eye, it might appear as a subtle blur or shadow, but to a collector, it's a signal of something extraordinary. It transforms a simple penny into a highly coveted artifact. When it comes to value, the 1978 double-die penny has reached astonishing heights. At a landmark auction held recently, one immaculate example sold for an incredible $2.15 million. The coin's perfect condition, coupled with its legendary rarity, made it one of the most valuable 1-cent pieces ever traded. Its worth lies not just in scarcity but in the story it tells, a story of accidental creation, decades of obscurity, and eventual discovery. It serves as a reminder that even in something as ordinary as a penny, there can be hidden worth and untold history. To this day, coin enthusiasts continue the hunt for more of these elusive 1978 double-die cents. Every old penny jar, estate sale, and coin roll holds the promise of uncovering one. And in a world where the odds seem impossible, it's that very impossibility that keeps the dream alive. The legend of the 1978 1-cent coin is a perfect example of how chance, history, and human curiosity can collide. It's more than just a piece of metal, it's a tiny, copper-colored time capsule, and for those lucky enough to find one, it's a life-changing discovery. In the world of numismatics, there are coins that tell stories, carry secrets, and hold values far beyond their modest appearance. Among these treasures lies one coin that's both elusive and legendary, the 1982 1-cent coin. A humble penny by design, but a masterpiece of rarity and value by fate. Few outside collector circles realize the importance of this tiny piece of metal, but its story is one of mishaps, mystery, and monumental worth. Back in 1982, the U.S. Mint made a crucial change to its 1-cent coins. The composition was switched from 95% copper to a predominantly zinc core with a thin copper plating. Rising metal costs forced this adjustment. But during this transitional year, something unusual happened. A limited number of pennies were mistakenly struck using the older, heavier copper planchets instead of the new zinc ones. This production oversight led to one of the most valuable errors in modern American coinage. The tricky part is, the two coins, to the naked eye, look exactly the same. Both feature Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But if you place them on a scale, the older copper version weighs 3.11 grams, while the newer zinc penny comes in at 2.5 grams. That tiny difference in weight is what separates an ordinary coin from a $1 million marvel. What makes the 1982 1-cent coin even more fascinating is the fact that there were multiple variations produced that year, large date and small date designs, across both copper and zinc planchets, minted in Philadelphia and Denver. But it's the 1982 small date copper penny that stands above them all. Experts believe only a handful exist, and even fewer have ever been officially authenticated. The discovery of the first known 1982 small date copper penny stunned the numismatic community. Found in the 2010s, it instantly became one of the most talked about modern U.S. coins. Its weight confirmed it was struck in copper, and the small date feature matched perfectly with the Denver Mint mark. A fluke, an accident, a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence, this coin defied all expectations. It's astonishing to think how such a minuscule detail can create a fortune. The small date is slightly more condensed than its large date counterpart, with a noticeable curve on the 2 and a higher position of the 8. Many collectors have rummaged through jars, rolls, and old collections hoping to find another. Yet, it remains painfully scarce, with perhaps only one or two more suspected to be out there. Auction houses and private sales have placed astronomical estimates on this coin. Its combination of rarity, modern minting history, and collector obsession drives its value higher with each passing year. This isn't a relic from ancient times or a colonial artifact, it's a simple penny from the not-so-distant past, yet it holds the kind of allure reserved for ancient treasures. The value of the known 1982 small date copper penny has climbed rapidly. In a headline-making transaction, one specimen fetched a staggering $2.15 million at auction. For a coin with a face value of just 1 cent, this sale redefined the meaning of worth more than its weight in gold. Collectors and investors alike now regard this coin as one of the crown jewels of modern American numismatics. What's most compelling about this story is the possibility that others might still exist, tucked away in old coffee cans, forgotten drawers, or inherited collections. Every now and then, a new coin surfaces that shakes up the collecting world, and for enthusiasts, the 1982 small date copper penny remains the ultimate prize, the holy grail of U.S. pennies. As it stands, only one officially authenticated example exists, elevating it to almost mythical status. Its discovery inspired countless hobbyists to pick up their scales and magnifying glasses, turning what was once dismissed as pocket change into a potential fortune. The idea that something so ordinary can hold such extraordinary value continues to captivate imaginations. Today, the 1982 small date copper penny represents more than just money. It symbolizes the unpredictability of minting, the thrill of discovery, and the enduring allure of rare coins. It's a reminder that history can be hiding in plain sight, and sometimes, it takes just one moment, one coin, and one sharp-eyed collector to uncover a story worth millions. In the realm of coin collecting, certain years and minting mistakes have become legendary, and the 1979 1-cent coin is one such story that continues to captivate collectors and historians alike. It's not often that a seemingly ordinary penny from a relatively modern era rises to such prestige, but this one holds a unique place in numismatic history. A small, copper coin with a remarkable twist that would later command a fortune, the year 1979 was mostly unremarkable for U.S. 1-cent coins. The mint produced hundreds of millions of them, and most entered everyday circulation without a second thought. But during this routine year, a rare mishap at one of the U.S. Mint facilities produced a version of the 1979 penny so scarce and distinctive, it would one day be regarded as a modern treasure. At first glance, the 1979 penny looks like any other from the decade. It features Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. What makes this coin special, however, isn't visible without close inspection. It's a minting error so subtle yet so rare, it elevates this humble coin to legendary status. The rare 1979 penny in question was mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for a different denomination entirely. A small number of these coins were struck on dime planchets, the metal blanks intended for 10-cent pieces. Because of this error, these pennies are slightly lighter, thinner, and have an incomplete rim. It's an anomaly you'd never expect from the precision-driven U.S. Mint. Adding to its intrigue is the fact that these error coins were produced at a time when coin errors were being aggressively caught and corrected. That makes their existence incredibly unlikely, which is precisely why collectors place such high value on them. To find a 1979 penny struck on a dime planchet is to uncover one of the rarest modern minting mistakes known. The most famous example of this error surfaced years after its creation, hidden away in a private collection. When tested and authenticated, it sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. Its odd size, weight of about 2.5 grams, and the absence of a full rim immediately set it apart. It was a genuine U.S. penny design, unmistakably from 1979, but produced on a blank intended for another coin. For collectors, these error coins are the stuff of dreams. They represent not only a quirky piece of history but also the unpredictable human element behind coin production. While machines strike the coins, people oversee the process, and every so often, a rare oversight like this escapes detection. Those few that make it out into the world become instant legends. Auction houses and private collectors have since vied for the chance to own one of these rare pieces. Its blend of historical significance, rarity, and curiosity makes it a coveted item in the world of rare coins. Over the years, the legend of the 1979 penny struck on a dime planchet has only grown, along with its market value. In one of the most remarkable sales in modern numismatic history, a pristine example of the 1979 1-cent coin struck on a dime planchet was auctioned for an astonishing $2.15 million. It was a moment that reaffirmed the coin's place among the rarest and most valuable American coins ever struck. A 1-cent coin achieving such a figure is a testament to the unpredictable magic of numismatics, the idea that a minor minting error could turn a simple penny into a multi-million-dollar artifact captures the imagination of collectors and casual enthusiasts alike. It serves as a powerful reminder that hidden treasures still exist in the most ordinary places, perhaps in old drawers, dusty coin jars, or inherited collections. Today, the 1979 1-cent coin struck on a dime planchet stands as a symbol of rarity and fortune. Its story continues to inspire new generations of collectors to pay attention to the smallest details, to look closely at the coins they handle every day, and to remember that even a penny might hold a history worth millions. In the world of modern coin collecting, few stories are as surprising as that of the 2007 1-cent coin. A year most people wouldn't think twice about, and a coin so common it's often overlooked in spare change. Yet, within this ordinary date lies a mistake so rare and valuable it's become the obsession of serious collectors and one of the most talked about rarities in U.S. coin history. The 2007 penny was produced in massive quantities by the U.S. Mint, part of the long-running Lincoln cent series that's been in circulation since 1909. By that year, the 1-cent coin was being made primarily with a copper-plated zinc composition. Nothing about the official records of 2007 suggest anything unusual. But as fate would have it, something extraordinary slipped through unnoticed. What makes this particular 2007 penny so special is a minting error involving a misstrike on the wrong planchet. Instead of being struck on its usual zinc planchet, a tiny handful were mistakenly minted on a blank meant for a US dime. The result was a coin with Lincoln's profile, dated 2007, but with a smaller, thinner, and lighter appearance, a rare minting mishap that defied the rigid quality controls of the modern mint. These error coins can only be identified by their weight and size. The standard 2007 penny should weigh around 2.5 grams, but these rare examples come in at about 2.27 grams, the weight of a dime. To the casual eye, they might seem like nothing more than a poorly struck cent, but for trained collectors, this discrepancy makes all the difference. The rarity of this mistake is what truly makes it so valuable. In the high-tech, precision-based operations of modern U.S. mints, it's incredibly difficult for wrong planchet errors to happen. That's why so few exist from recent decades, making any 2007 penny struck on a dime planchet an absolute prize for numismatists. One such coin was discovered a few years after its minting, tucked away in a private collection. When the error was verified, its story rippled through collector communities and auction houses. Experts examined its weight, size, and strike details under magnification, confirming that it wasn't a damaged or altered coin, but a legitimate mint error of astonishing rarity. The thrill of finding a modern error like this is what keeps collectors checking their spare change and inherited coin jars. It's not just about the metal, it's about the story, the human error, and the one-in-a-million chance of a coin escaping unnoticed from the mint's presses. Collectors prize these error coins not only for their scarcity but also for their historical significance. They represent a moment when human oversight and mechanical slip-up created something far more valuable than it was ever meant to be. The 2007 penny on a dime planchet is the embodiment of that rare combination of chance and history that in one of the most eye-popping sales in the modern coin market. A pristine example of the 2007 1-cent coin struck on a dime planchet was auctioned for an incredible $2.15 million. The sale stunned both seasoned collectors and casual hobbyists, elevating the humble 2007 penny from pocket change to elite numismatic status. Its value isn't just in the price it fetched but in the legend it created. This penny turned heads, changed perceptions about modern error coins, and made collectors realize that valuable treasures can still be hiding in plain sight, even from as recently as 2007. Today, the rare 2007 1-cent coin serves as a reminder to keep an eye on every coin that passes through your hands. Even the most recent dates can hold unimaginable worth if struck under unusual circumstances. Somewhere out there, another might still exist, waiting to be discovered in an old coin jar, an estate collection, or a forgotten box of change.